Westpac to pay $1.3 billion. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from Mortgage Business discussing Westpac agreeing to pay $1.3 billion in penalties. Now before we do that, I am going to do my plug. This week I'm plugging my new YouTube channel, HeiseSaysUS, which I'm trying to grow, where I cover US content. Check it out guys if you're at all interested, because well, what's happening in the US is important to us here on the colonies. So let's have a look at this article from Mortgage Business. So 1.3 billion. Now, do you think their share price this was released yesterday, do you think the Westpac share price has taken a hit or probably gone right up? We're living in this clown world now where negative news seems to have the opposite effect. The major bank has reached a settlement with AUSTRAC to pay a record $1.3 billion penalty for over 23 million breaches of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing laws. Westpac Group has announced that it has reached an agreement with financial crimes regulator AUSTRAC to settle civil proceedings launched in the Federal Court of Australia on the 20th of November 2019. As part of the settlement, Westpac has agreed to file a statement of agreed facts and admissions, which incur a penalty of $1.3 billion subject to federal court approval. Westpac has previously admitted to over 23 million contraventions of the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism and Financing Act 2006. However, as part of the settlement, the major bank has admitted to an additional 76,000 breaches set out in a revised statement of the claim. Specifically, Westpac has admitted to failing to properly report over 19.5 million international funds transfer instructions, amounting to over 11 billion to AUSTRAC, pass on information relating to the origin of some of these international funds transfers, and to pass on information about the source of funds to other banks in the transfer chain, which these banks needed to manage their own ML/TF risks. Keep records relating to the origin of some of these international funds transfers, appropriately assess and monitor the risks associated with the movement of money into and out of Australia through its corresponding banking relationships, including with higher risk jurisdictions, and carry out appropriate customer due diligence in relation to suspicious transactions associated with possible exploitation. If approved by the federal court, the $1.3 billion charge would represent the largest civil penalty in Australian history, surprising the $700 million settlement reached between AUSTRAC and the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. I would like to apologise sincerely for the bank's failings, Westpac Group CEO Peter King said. We are committed to fixing the issues to ensure that these mistakes do not happen again. This has been my number one priority. We have also closed down relevant products and reported all relevant historical transactions. This agreement is an important step in the court process. It provides more certainty to all of our stakeholders as we continue to implement the measures in our response plan and complete the implementation of recommendations from the reviews that have been conducted. AUSTRAC CEO Nicole Rose, PSM, said the statement sent a strong message to the broader industry. Our role is to harden the financial system against serious crime and terrorism financing, and this penalty reflects the serious and systematic nature of Westpac's non-compliance, Ms. Ross said. Westpac's failure to implement effective transaction monitoring systems and its failure to submit IFTI reports to AUSTRAC and apply enhanced consumer due diligence in relation to suspicious transactions meant AUSTRAC and law enforcement were missing critical intelligence to support police investigations. Ms. Rose added that the scale of Westpac's breaches, which spanned over several years, was unacceptable and avoidable had the proper assurance and oversight processes been in place. We've been and will continue to work collaboratively with Westpac and all businesses we regulate to support them to meet their compliance and reporting obligations to ensure this doesn't happen again in the future, she said. The statement comes just months after Westpac released findings from its investigation into its AML/CTF compliance issues, as well as the advisory panel report on governance and accountability. The independent review found that key elements of Westpac's non-financial risk culture are immature and reactive. Westpac is taking action to address the areas where we have failed in implementing all the recommendations of the advisory panel report, Mr. King said. We are strengthening our financial crime capability. We acknowledge the important role Westpac may play in protecting the integrity of the financial system. As part of this process, we're improving our end-to-end financial crime risk management processes and have established clearer accountabilities for AML and CDF compliance. The 1.3 billion penalty is well beyond the major bank's estimate of 900 million, outlined in the group's first half results in the 2020 financial year, and we had a look at that earlier. Commonwealth Attorney General Christian Porter said the proposed penalty reflected the significance and systematic nature of the breaches. While noting the penalty is still subject to the federal court's approval, this should serve as a wake-up call to all financial institutions operating in Australia that the government is serious about maintaining a strong financial system and won't tolerate serious non-compliance, Mr. Porter said. Minister for Home Affairs Peter Dutton added the agreement is further proof that the government is serious about ensuring the integrity of Australia's financial system and protecting the community from crime. Banks have a responsibility to not let criminal activity go undetected and to protect Australians from serious and organised crime like exploitation, drug trafficking and fraud. They should be able to trust their banks and financial services they use daily to have strong systems in place to protect the community from crime. In this case, Westpac breached that trust, let their customers down and ultimately put Australians at risk. And this was written by Kaleb Karim. Now, here's the consideration, guys. You'd often say people will be quite critical of the crypto sector because it can be used in crime. Here you have one of the major big four banks, 23 million breaches. That's a huge number, everyone. Let's have a look at their share price. And before I do that, I'll have a shot of coffee. And you let me know in the comments if you think, have they gone up or have they gone down? Remember, it was worse than anticipated. So let's have a look. So right now, we'll have a look. Right now, they're at $17.49, and we'll go down to 5 days. So there you go. On the 24th, it's got up 6% from $16.13 when this article was written to now $17.46. Of course it has. It's gone up. That's the world we live in, guys. That's the world we live in. What do you all think? Are you all surprised? And do you think the other banks will respond to this? Are you a Westpac shareholder or do you bank with them? Has this affected your desire to do business with Westpac? As always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays or Teespring. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or PayPal. You can also support us by joining our HeiseSaysUS channel. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I will see you all in the next episode.